You may have questions, and that's normal. So for the latest information, visit getvaccineanswers.org. It's up to you.
At Dial 10 Beauty, we believe in the confidence that lies within you. Every woman deserves to feel beautiful in a matter of a few minutes each day. That's why I created Dial 10. I want to give you beauty tools to create that feeling. My mission is to make you feel empowered, unstoppable, and unapologetically beautiful. Give me 10 minutes and I'll change the way you see yourself.
Timeless style, remarkable quality, and effortless functionality. Versatile, everyday bags crafted by hand. Using trusted old world techniques and luxe materials. Fashion accessories designed to last a lifetime. Dooney & Burke on HSN. We love our gemstones to be beautiful, colorful, and durable. That's why we give some of them a little more love. Enhancements may require special care and may not be permanent, while others may last a lifetime. For more information, visit hsn.com and search Gemstone Care to see our gemstone enhancement chart.
All right, well, welcome into HSN. Happy Monday indeed. Well, heard of hat hair? I know I've said that more than once myself. This is the hat hair you want, because this is the hat or the cap that helps you grow your hair. You heard me correctly. FDA cleared technology. If you go, because you know, I was talking last hour with Bob Circosta about how much those under the desk ellipticals sell for. I was actually all poised and ready to go to my doctor's office. They do a laser, medical grade laser treatment to help grow hair. You're looking at that technology and you're doing it in the comfort of your home. This is not only a groundbreaking idea from a company that we know and love here at HSN, but it will help you grow that hair. And the thing for me is when we say, especially as women, your hair is your crowning glory. If you have a bad hair day, it's just like you're having a bad day to begin with. But this is, again, laser technology, more lasers than anyone else in the industry does, an HSN exclusive configuration. You get this great molded portable bag, and then you own the same technology. You own the lasers. The whole family is going to use and love this, but you only own it for this show and then one abbreviated with Adam coming up a little bit later on in open house. So for $15.49, it's on 5 flexible payments with free shipping, but it also has a 6-month money-back guarantee. So if you're a fan like I am, I would love to hear from you. Our testimonial talk line is open. You are our biggest fans. We need to hear from you because as I introduce my guest of honor, Barry is back. For decades, Barry, you sat in those doctor's offices, you did those consultations, you held those hands, you wiped away those tears. Because people really do get emotional about hair loss, whether you're men, whether you're women, whether you're in your 30s or your 50s. So I'll turn it over to you, my friend. I'll talk about how much I love this product as well. But it really is changing lives, isn't it?
Oh my gosh, and I saw that all the time because you said I sat with thousands of men and women, and it was my job to actually educate them on their #1 question, is there something I can do about hair loss? And I will tell you what I told them. One of the first things out of my mouth is yes, medical technology has advanced to the point where we can actually fight back against hair loss. That's huge because 20 years ago, when folks were losing their hair, there is basically nothing you can do, and all the years forward. But medical technology really has advanced to the point where we can say we have an FDA-cleared, real medical device, professional grade, that's really important to say, because it has 202 lasers that can actually help to stop hair loss and help to cause hair regrowth. And one of the first things I talked about when I sat with folks is to really help them understand what it means to be able to say FDA cleared. Now, interestingly, post-COVID vaccine, the general population is much more educated, but just let me remind you, because you saw how hard it was to get that vaccine, right? Everything that had to go we all had to go through before we were able to receive the vaccine ourselves. That's what goes into something being FDA cleared. To be FDA cleared, you have to prove to the FDA that this technology, number one, is effective. It's called efficacy. And number two, is safe. So think about that. At the end of the day, and again, this is what I would say to the men and women I sat with, because it's important for you to understand, because I don't want to tell you, buy this cap, but I want you to make an educated, scientific, biomedical decision for yourself. At the end of the day, the FDA says this technology is effective, and at the end of the day, the FDA says this technology is safe, which naturally leads to what question? How does it work? Let's show you. With follicle animation we have, I can show you exactly what's going on the top of your head. When you're losing your hair, in the high 90 percentiles, 98% of men and women suffer from something called androgenic alopecia. Andro-human, genic you inherited, alopecia is simply the medical term for hair loss. What's happening is the follicle is actually getting smaller and smaller and smaller until it dies. That is permanent baldness. So when I say the medical community has advanced to what? We have advanced to the point where we can catch that follicle before it dies using a very specific color spectrum of light. See this red? That's no mistake. This is known as 650 nanometers. It actually reaches down through your hair, reaches down through your scalp. Let's show that animation one more time, guys, if we can, because now it's going to make sense. And this color is reaching that dying follicle. Remember, dying. It's exciting the mitochondria in the cells. I'm giving you the science because you can handle it. You need to know what's happening here. Now, all of a sudden, those dying cells are saying, wait, I don't have to die. I can become healthy again. So what's called as reverse miniaturization, the follicles actually get bigger again. Let's look at Daniel really quickly, because now it's going to even make all the more sense. So when I say help to stop hair loss and help to cause hair regrowth, look at Daniel. Now, someone like Daniel would come into my office in an absolute panic saying, Barry, my hair's falling out. Please help me stop my hair from falling out. I was able to tell him, Daniel, as I'm able to tell everyone in the range of my voice, I'm from androgenic alopecia, we can not only help to stop your hair from falling out, we can help to regrow it. Shannon, look at that after. See, it looks like almost he's regrowing hair. You actually said grow more hair. But what we're doing, hopefully now it makes sense that you saw the animation, we're taking tiny, fine, baby follicles, meaning tiny, fine baby hair that the human eye can't even see. We're making them healthy again. That's how you get that before, that after from that before. That's amazing medical science.
It's medical science. You're right. It is
Yep.
FDA cleared. You know, when I talk, Barry and I have had an in-person consultation in the HSN hallway. And I was joking about the tight ponytail at the gym and whether you've worn extensions or our hair is changing as we're getting older. The thing is, this can't help you unless you try it. That's number one. And we are talking about an FDA-cleared medical device, the lasers. I told Barry this story. I was actually, I was poised and ready because, especially as women and especially doing the job that I do, when I was starting to have pretty profound hair loss, in my opinion, yeah, I think we're always our worst judges or critics, and I was going to start going to my doctor's office. Now, the problem is that life changes. A good example, I haven't even been able to get to my therapist's office. I haven't had time to get my teeth cleaned. We're not leaving the house. We're safer at home. We're social distancing as it is. We're bringing that technology home to you. There is a 6-month money-back guarantee on this, so just keep that in mind. So you've got 6 months to try it as you buy it. Wear a hat, grow hair. Wear a hat, grow hair. I mean, it's really putting new meaning on the idea of hat hair. Hey, Barry, one of the things that I've noticed here, though, this is new to me. Is this like some little clip? What is the story there?
Yeah, so the way this works is, of course, you're gonna get the entire configuration in front of you. You get the cap, you get the actual medical technology that's inserted in the cap, which, by the way, you can really put in any cap you'd like. It's just, this comes with the Capillus cap. So this is the battery pack, and Shannon, what you're talking about is an actual clip that if you choose, you can attach it to the battery and just clip it right here. But I'll tell you, most folks I know, because again, we're talking 6 minutes a day. It flies by in a flash. You could just stick this in your pocket and pop this on your head. You pop one button, and 6 minutes later, it automatically turns itself off. Sonia's here, is that correct? Sonia? Could we see Sonia? She's here.
She's like, yes.
Is she here?
That beautiful
Oh, hi, Sonia. It's good to see you.
beauty.
Yeah, now, so keep in mind, Sonia, like Shannon, like Adam, who I'm going to be talking about in 2.5 hours, is a real user. As a matter of fact, I love that Sonia's our model because Sonia was our model and came up to me in the hallway one day and said, Barry, just so you know, I have been using that. Correct, Sonia? I'm not telling stories. No, she's a real user. So look, you look at Sonia's hair and go, oh my gosh, she has amazing hair. Well, she's been using the Capillus cap for 3 years now. So Sonia, real quick, you popped it on, you show them how you pop that one button, right? And yep, and those lights light up on the top, and give them that little peekaboo because you're so good at that. Show them, okay, and the lasers, okay, we're gonna turn the lasers on. There are actually patented safety sensors in there that the lasers automatically will pop off if you take it off your head. But all she does is wear that, and 6 minutes later, the cap automatically turns itself off. It's a one and done. To get what kind of results? Let's look at the before and afters. Look at Daniel. Again, notice how before, it looks like Daniel doesn't have hair. He's done. He's just going to keep losing his hair. Not true with Daniel, like it's not true for Shannon, like it's not true for Sonia, like it's certainly not true for me. In the after, we not only help to stop the loss using a real medical device that's FDA cleared, we help to regrow. Look at Yvonne, same story. Ladies, you know this. Again, let me emphasize that this is FDA cleared for men and women. Look at the part. That's a classic pattern for hair loss in females. The part gets wider and wider. The bangs start to go away. I want you to notice in Yvonne, look at how those bangs came back. Look at it almost like she has a bump it in the back there. I love to say that. And look how healthy her hair is on the side and thicker because you're actually regrowing the best hair you can grow. Now let me show Lester. Here's why I like to bring Lester. Notice at the bottom of Lester, you're going to see 3 months. See the big difference there? No, you do not. Please listen. We are talking about growing real hair. If you have a class reunion in 2 months and you want great hair, please don't buy this. This is not for you. It's going to take at least 6 months. That's why we give you 6 months to keep it at home until you're going to look in the mirror and folks around you are going to notice that something's changing. Something is different, that you're growing more hair. As a matter of fact, I'd like to bring in Isabel because she's going to tell you her story because she bought the cap. She had tried everything. Her scalp was showing just like those before and afters, and nothing worked. She had, for all intents and purposes, given up. But she said, I'm going to give it one more 6-month shot, exactly like you can. Let's listen to Isabel's story.
Okay, actually, Barry, I think they're going to get Isabel ready because they had already queued up, well, Martino. If you watch any of our HSN shows here at the network, Martino is really a renowned and recognized celebrity hairstylist. So you might think he would never struggle with his hair. That is not true. So rather than me put words in Martino's mouth, let's show you.
My name is Martino Cardi, celebrity stylist. When I turned 40 years old, I noticed my hairline was really starting to thin and I was starting to panic. So I found a hair restoration surgeon, world-renowned guy, right here in Florida. So I went to him and I had the transplant. I spent a lot of money and he told me, you really should protect your investment. And by doing that, I want you to get this Capillus laser cap. And what it's gonna do, it's gonna stop the hair from falling out that you already had with the surgery. Plus, it's gonna help other hair come in thicker and more fuller, like when you were younger. Being a celebrity stylist, I have access to the best of the best. So if I choose Capillus, you should too. FDA approved, clinical results, you're gonna love your hair.
He summarized it though, clinical results, FDA approved, HSN exclusive configuration, feature price. Actually, I feel like part of the privileged class. It's just myself and Adam who have the fortunate luck of presenting this today. And part of that is we are honoring a feature price only for us. There are roughly 600 and 600 only of these to go around. Now, I certainly realize this is a considered purchase, but for those of you out there like myself, and I'm talking to the women out there in particular, obviously guys, I think men, maybe, I think it might be socially more acceptable maybe for men to talk about their hair loss, or, I mean, you think about guys losing their hair, I mean, it's certainly a very personal and intimate issue, but for women in particular, there is something that is so fundamentally linked to our hair. For women in particular, and I'm just speaking from my own experience, when they say your crowning glory, I mean, that gets to the heart of our self-esteem. I think that there are so many colloquial phrases in America, like, you know, bedhead, you know, bad hair, don't care. You know, all those little, you know, anachronisms and abbreviations you see on the internet. This really it goes to the source. So it's not a cover-up. It is helping you to grow that hair. And I think that's just really important that you understand that. And just like our FitQuest Today's special, that I think we have fewer than 200 on that blue, by the way, if you were shopping last hour. Barry, you and I have talked a lot about this, and I don't know if this is an appropriate time or not, but I had tried other things to grow hair. You know, I used the foam tray, and yeah, it works, but I was not consistent with it. And that's one of the things I was even worried about with the doctor is it's like, oh man, I got to drive to Tampa and this and that. So no matter who you are, men, women, type of hair loss, if you're not consistent, you're not gonna get results, but doggone it, put on a cap, grow that hair.
Yeah, and you bring up an excellent question, and it was really one of the things that I always talked about in the consultation, because look, at the end of the day, I'm being really straight up honest with you. I'm not trying to tell you to buy this cap. I'm trying to educate you on the options you have that can help stop hair loss and help cause hair regrowth. The medically recognized options. Look, guys, there is so much snake oil out there. There's this vitamin promises that, this promises that, but let me just make it clear, just so you could be an educated consumer, because again, think about it. This was my job to educate these men and women I sat with. So there are only 4 things that a man can do and only 3 things that a woman can do. And when I say these numbers, in other words, if you went to your dermatologist or a hair loss specialist doctor, even your PCP, they're going to discuss these 3 and 4 things so that you can make an educated decision. So let me help you understand them, because they're important to know. Number 1 is Minoxidil. It's been around the longest. If you're suffering from hair loss, chances are good. If you not only know about it, you probably tried it. But here's the issue. You've got to put it on and leave it on twice a day in order for it to work for the rest of your life. If you don't, it's not going to work. Almost every infomercial that you see out there these days that is selling something that topical that you put on your head, if they say it's FDA approved, it's got to be Minoxidil, because there is no other topical you put on your head. They don't say it's Minoxidil. They'll package it with other things. I'm not going to say anything bad about it, but you've got to put it on and leave it on twice a day for it to work, and you're going to have to deal with it with your hair product and everything else, okay? So that's one for men or women. The next one is for men only. That's why men have 4, women have 3. It's finasteride. Finasteride was and still is a prescription for an enlarged prostate in a male. They found it had the side effect of helping to stop hair loss, so they repackaged it and rebranded it, and now men can use finasteride. But the FDA requires requires me to say that it can have side effects, sexual side effects of low sperm count and lack of libido. Okay, that's for men only. The next one is something called PRP, which stands for platelet-rich plasma, where you go to the doctor's office for the rest of your life and get shots in your head. I'm going to tell you that in about 3 or 4 months of going to the doctor's office for those shots is the price of this cap that you only buy once. Everything that I just mentioned, you buy over and over again for the rest of your life. So as Shannon mentioned, considerable purchase, yes. But when you're talking about fighting hair loss, doing something about it, you buy this once. This is what's known as photobiomodulation. That's the medical term for what this is and what this does. Photo light. Bio, biological modulation change. Photobiomodulation using a very specific color spectrum of light, a medical device with 202 lasers, the actual cap that your doctor would offer you if you went to a hair loss doctor is what we're talking about today. It's just like photosynthesis in the plant. We'll show that animation one more time just so you understand. It's basically doing the same type of thing. It's using that very specific color spectrum of red light to reach down to that dying follicle, stimulate those cells that are dying back to health so that miniaturization actually reverses, so that those thin, tiny, wispy hairs, ladies, that you're seeing where your bangs used to be, that you're seeing where your receding hairline is happening, maybe you had a ponytail too tight, that you're seeing where you're thinning hair because the weaves have yanked out too much hair. But most likely, again, this is FDA cleared for androgenic alopecia, meaning inherited hair loss. That's what's almost everyone, not almost, that is definitely what most people in the sound of my voice, again, most as in 98% of men and women suffer from. You've seen it in grandma and mom and dad and uncle. And by the way, if you haven't seen it, it's because somehow that gene skipped a few generations and got you. That's how genetics works. But at the end of the day, Shannon, again, a real FDA cleared medical device that you wear 6 minutes once a day. That's it. You push one button, it automatically turns itself off in 6 minutes, and you're getting your treatment, just as I am and everyone who uses this cap already does.
Well, and that's just it. And that's one of the reasons that we have that 6 month, that's what 180 days works out to, that 6 month money back guarantee. And that's why I keep going back to it can't help you if you don't use it. And certainly the diet is hard. Fitness is easy if you're doing our today's special, which I hope you are. But otherwise, it takes some commitment. Wear a hat, stop the hair loss, grow new hair. Now, I don't know about you, that's the kind of hat hair I want. And with the same FDA cleared technology, lasers, laser treatment that you would get in the doctor's offices. Remember, that clip is great if you are kind of walking around the house, because remember, you own the treatment. You own the FDA cleared treatment. So you can do that. You can take that insert, you can take it out of this cap and pop it into anything else like Barry told you. You get that great custom molded bag as well. All the adapters, if you are traveling or have, international travel adapters so that you can adapt that power to charge that battery wherever. You might want to ask about the activator. I'm from a farm family, and we've been actually doing a lot of spring and garden shows here at HSN. I always say, help your garden grow, help that Capillus out, so we have that as well. But with the 600 that we have, actually really only 600, you'll see it with me, and then Adam will actually have an abbreviated look in his 11 o'clock show. Not sure when we'll have Capillus back on the air again, but you are watching this show for a reason. And whether you're a woman and you've looked in that mirror and there's a huge fear factor, you just don't know what to do. And it's really kind of scary. I mean, it really is. If you see yourself in any of these before and afters, if you have seen your hairline diminishing, if you've seen that part getting larger and larger, if you can't wear your hairstyle the way that you used to, Barry knows that, because I was seeing more of the pronounced hair loss on the front, like in the bangs, because when I'm not here, the hair isn't that really, really tight ponytail. But just to go back to the technology, and we've got testimonials, Testimonials and Dr. Danes. Real quickly, Barry, this is also better than even the first Capillus. I remember when you and I started airing Capillus together, remember you now it's even a shorter window of time to reap those benefits on a daily basis, right?
Yeah, there's no question. So, you know, in my opinion, there's just, you know, I'm going to have to say my opinion, but I'm going to say almost all of our network of doctors and so many people would say there just is no better technology you can buy out there. And yes, to your point, because a lot of people may have this question. In the beginning, we were 30 minutes every other day. But you know, in the medical industry, there's something called compliance, meaning you'll do it. The best heart pill in the world is no good if no one takes that heart pill. So we, as a company, it's called filed with the FDA. We have an entire compliance department that deals with the FDA to go to every day for 6 minutes a day for the same effect, and compliance went way up. Also, to your point, Shannon, when this technology first came out, there was something in a comb that had 8 lasers. So just so I can help you understand, we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, okay? Then for a long time, when I worked in the largest medical facility in the world to deal with hair loss, there was like 80 lasers. So that would be about this much, okay? So, because I want you to understand the price point we're talking about. This is 202 lasers. So when we say the actual medical device that your doctor might recommend to you, we mean it. But let me just show off one more thing, because I think this is so super important. Because look, so many people have copied us over the years. You've probably seen things that have popped up since us, okay? But they're nothing like this. I want you to understand that. Notice how this is flexible. Notice how this has a hypoallergenic silicone gel layer that I can't even grab. It's so hardy. Because remember, this is a device that we want you to have for years and years, if not a lifetime. Notice this cord, how thick it is. Notice the solid battery pack. Shannon, when we say you buy this once to get the kind of results you see in those before and afters, we're not kidding. Look, you get a 2-year warranty. You get 6 months to try it before you even send it back. There is no way we as a company would do something like that if we did not know that you are likely going to see exactly what we see in Daniel, for example. Let's take another look, because again, I want you to look at these before and after so you understand what we're talking about. That you have thin hair, where you may be able to see your scalp, whether you're a male or female. Ladies, you just may have a wider part that's getting wider and wider. You please understand that there are tiny, fine baby hair there that your human eye can't even see, that we can use this real FDA-cleared medical device to literally treat, again, medical device, this is a treatment, to Shannon's point, for 6 minutes once a day, where you can begin to see those effects that you see in the after. Same thing with Yvonne, okay? And remember, we're talking genetics. I also noticed in Yvonne, okay, there's no question in her after she looks better. But look, it was 12 months. Her results, you may say, well, they're not as dramatic as the first guy. Is that because it's a female? No, we are talking about androgenic alopecia. It's genetics. But she has amazing results after 12 months. And by the way, it's going to take to up to 2 years till she'll get her full results. Now, keep in mind, she is growing her most healthy hair that she can grow. She can cut it, color it, perm it, do whatever she wants. There's nothing special she has to do. There's nothing else to buy once you purchase these caps. You don't have to replace the lasers, nothing like that, guys. I really want you to understand how this technology works. And again, let's look at Lester, because I used Lester to show you that after 3 months, that's when underneath you're going to start to stop the loss. You may in the first couple of months actually shed some hair. You may. You probably won't, but some people may, because the follicle is saying, wait, I can do way better than this. It's going to spit out the unhealthy hair and start to regrow healthy hair. So now Lester has just begun at 3 months to get to the point where he's going to start to help to regrow those fine baby hairs. That's why I say you've got to give it time. If you think you're going to get this home and try it for 3 months, and if it doesn't work, you're going to send it back, I am just telling you, don't even waste the effort to pick up the phone call and order it, because you're not going to see any dramatic results in 3 months. We're talking about, Shannon, growing real hair. This is not a cosmetic. We're talking about a real FDA-cleared medical device. I sound like a broken record, I know, but I really want you to understand the amazing technology that's here, that at the end of the day, medical technology has advanced to the point where we can help to regrow your real hair.
Well, and I think that's what's so key. And I think that's one of the reasons that those of us who have tried it and use it and love it really do become crusaders for this brand. I know Adam is going to have his own personal testimonial later tonight in open house. That will be your last official airing. However, I can tell you, we do not have tens of thousands of these. This was kind of like a special power hour that Barry agreed to do this, and we are so grateful and so privileged. Kevin, I think you said we're hovering about that 600. Okay, so we have around 600, and I certainly realize it's a feature price and it's less money than you would spend elsewhere. It's certainly a lot less than I would have spent had I committed to going to the doctor's office, and I can pretty much promise you I would not have been compliant in that. But remember, you own this. You own that FDA-cleared technology. You own the lasers that they use in those hair clinics where Barry did those consultations for decades. The other thing about this is, if you are new, now you can apply and buy. That's number one. So you can take $40 off, which takes even a little bit of a hit, takes the price down a little bit more even. On that FlexPay, now the FlexPay, those are interest-free payments. So understand, we do not take the full amount unless you want us to. So for a little over $300, you can get this. You don't have our 30-day return policy. You have a 6-month return policy or 180 days. So remember, on that $309 and change FlexPay, the shipping is free, but we don't wait till you pay it off. I mean, we send you the lasers. We send you the same, FDA cleared and lasers that are used in the medical and the hair clinics and doctors' offices, so that you can get going and start growing hair. So you can stop the hair loss and start growing that hair. And we said it with the fitness, but it really is true. A wish changes nothing. And I think for a lot of us out there, and I know I'm speaking from the female, from the woman's perspective, but there is something that is just really gut-wrenching. Life is hard enough, and I think we all anticipate, whether you have kids or are married or not, we know life is life. There are some blips on the radar, there are some challenges as we move through life. Losing your hair should not be one of them. And if that's one thing that I can stop the hair loss and help regrow that hair, you better believe it, because no kidding, life is hard enough. And I know if you've watched Andrew Lessman on the air with his number one product, it's Healthy Hair, Skin, and Nails. And I'll just make the analogy, Barry, but Andrew, he's I love him as a person and obviously his products, but he was really surprised, and he almost didn't want to do that healthy hair product because, he's like, oh, that's superficial. Hair loss is not inconsequential in how we live our lives. People change their hairstyles, they change their social interactions. Maybe it affects their performance just for self-esteem, if nothing else, in terms of their performance on their job. Hair loss does not discriminate. You could be a prince or a princess, or, hair loss does not discriminate. I mean, it's something every walk of life. And that's the thing that I love about this so much is we're really going to the source of the problem, not covering up, not tweezing, we're going to the source, aren't we?
Yes, and that's the point. So hair basically is dead. The cuticle is dead. We're actually doing a medical treatment to the follicle, because there's really no point to treat the hair. Shampoos, conditioners, they do that stuff. But if we want to talk about regrowing hair, we have to treat the follicle. And Shannon, I think you mentioned that I trained some of the most famous doctors and doctors' offices in the world. That's just my job. When I'm not here at HSN, I'm all over the place place training doctors and their staff at some of the most famous hospitals that you can mention, and helping them understand the technology and explaining, again, those 4 things we talked about: Minoxidil, PRP, finasteride, and photobiomodulation. We also know there are, now think about this, there are hundreds of clinical trials, thousands of medical papers written on this. So this is nothing new. I don't want you to think that we have, something new and experimental out there. That is not the case with this at all. Really, what's new, though, is the professional dose. And when I say dose, I want you to think of aspirin or extra strength aspirin. So again, when they started off with 8, it was still amazing because people were able to see some results. But now we have an FDA-cleared medical device that has 202 lasers where you can see professional results. And look, here's at the end of the day. So there's no question I love to talk about the science. I will answer your questions all day long about medically what happens. But since Shannon brought it up, I will address it. So yes, it was my job. When you came into my office, I sat with you and heard your stories. And I heard gut-wrenching stories. They are nothing to laugh about. They are nothing to smile about. People who drop out of life because of their hair. They go out less and less. They socialize less and less. In terms of investment, tragically we know that people with more hair tend to get promoted more, tend to get better jobs, obviously have a better social life. I think that stinks. I started losing my hair in my 20s before this technology was out there. So it's amazing the amount of hair that I can have today just by catching up with it over the last 10 years or so. But here's what I want you to know. And again, after I explained the science, I explained the FDA cleared, I explained what your options are, I really took a moment to let you know that medical technology has advanced where you can do something about where you find yourself stuck now. So truly, with all of my heart, I would never say something like this to be emotional or for effect. I want you to know that I understand. I want you to know that your hair loss has been devastating to you. I get it. I cried with you. I can tell you stories that are horribly gut-wrenching. But at the end of the day, the most important thing I want you to know is a simple sentence. Medical technology has advanced to the point where we can do something about your hair loss. If you hear me say nothing else, please just hear that. Medical technology has advanced to the point where you now can change your tomorrows. And Shannon, that's all you really need to understand at the end of the day. And because of the amazing thing that you and HSN are doing, and again, I don't want to sound condescending here, but when you go to a doctor's office, they're not going to say, take it home and try it for 6 months and bring it back if you don't like. I am such a champion of HSN for giving you 6 months to try this, because you can try it to see if you can make that kind of difference in your life. And Shannon, it's profound.
It is profound. I always say things are guided in life. You're watching for a reason. Only 600, give or take. And remember, we're in over 90 million homes, so that's really kind of a blip on the radar. This is one of only 2 power hours, or I should say specialty presentations with Barry. So we've got about 20 minutes left. Remember, it is a 6-month money-back guarantee. The Flex Pays, that is not like a layaway program. So for a little over $300, we send you the FDA cleared, the medical technology, the lasers they use in doctor's offices. So you don't have to wait until you've paid it off. You do have 6 months to try it as you buy it. You get the adapters if, for whatever reason, if you are traveling, international or otherwise. You get that custom molded bag, and it brings new meaning to the term hat hair. You wear a hat, you wear a cap, you grow hair. You stop that hair loss, you grow the hair. And you do it with that 6-month money-back guarantee. We'd love to send it your way. We really would. Whether you've noticed a thinning, whether you've noticed your part changing, whether you've noticed your bangs getting more sparse, if you've thrown up your hands and just said, there's nothing I can do, if you've tried other methods of growing hair as I have, and you either weren't compliant, or when I was compliant, then there were a host of other side issues for me. My scalp got dry, my hair got dry, just my scalp just felt uncomfortable all the time. That is not this. you wear it, you go about your life. You load the dishwasher, you vacuum, you watch your favorite TV show. I mean, the whole shebang, but hopefully you will try it. Now, remember, it's for men and women. If you're watching this show, if you've got hair loss, I hope you consider it. But from a woman's perspective, not just a beautiful woman, but a doctor that you might recognize. See what Dr. Danes has to say.
My name is Dr. Adrian Danes. I'm a medical doctor. I also have a PhD. 2 years ago, I began to see a profound change in the quality of my hair. I have started to use Capillus, and I find it effective. It is very important for me that Capillus is FDA cleared. You put it on your head, you turn it on, one button, and you're done.
It's funny, during that break, you know, hair loss is not funny, but I was talking about the list of things you go through as you get older. I mean, it's funny. It's kind of like living in Minnesota. The weather, it changes. Well, guess what? You know, whether it's your health or your hair or your mood, things change. And in a time in history, Barry, where I think we all felt powerless, to me, this makes you kind of feel empowered. It's like, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get that FDA cleared. I'm gonna get those lasers, more of them than anybody else does. Because you know what, at the end of the day, all I have to do is wear a cap. You know, I'll defer to you in that regard because it is something that makes us feel powerful when we can do something, as you say, this profound, isn't it?
It is, because look, at the end of the day, we can change our clothes. Ladies, you can change your makeup, change your shoes. Hair is with you all the time. That's why you're talking about an investment. Can you just hold off on the new jeans and the new top and the new coat and everything again? This is the kind of questions I would ask. How am I going? This is a big price. How can I afford this? And I would just try to walk folks through in terms of what's important to you. What is really impacting your life that it might be worth that investment, because again, a real medical device. And let me help to see if I can clarify this a little more by using some medical charts, because again, when you came into my office, I would classify you as to where your hair loss is, and this may help you. Okay, these are the men and women scales. This is the Norwood Hamilton classifications. This is men, just if it helps, okay? So again, guys out there, I know lots of guys buy this at HSN and watch this because they've been to their doctor's office. The doctor says it's $2,000. They turn on HSN. They're like, oh my gosh, I can save almost $500. I get it. And guys, you know, you don't want to have to shave your head. If you can grow your hair back, you want to. This is the typical classification. These are medical classifications. You recede, your vertex, or what a lot of people call their crown, gets thinner. Now, this is a good time to point out. See, if you look down at the bottom there where it's in white, see the class 7 and the class 6. If your follicles are already dead and gone, I don't want you to think that this medical device is going to create a new follicle. This really isn't for you. However, if you do have thin, fine hair, this is for you, and we can use the ladies chart to explain that. This is the Ludwig-Savin scale classifications, again, a real medical chart where I would classify you. When I took your notes and I would chart you, I would say, for example, she's a 2-1, she's a 1-4, okay? So you see, again, androgenic alopecia is progressive. We wish it froze in time. It didn't. If you wait too long until there is permanent baldness, there's nothing you can do short of a medical procedure, a hair transplant. It's likely in the 5 figures. But you see how the part's getting wider and wider. But please understand, as that part is getting wider and wider, there are tiny baby hairs there with unhealthy miniaturized follicles there that we can treat. If it's possible, we can go through the before and afters again. You'll see what I'm talking about. Your human eye can't see them. When you would come into my office, I would scope you. So look at Daniel before. Again, Daniel comes into my office. It could be male or female. It doesn't matter. Panic, my hair's falling out. I can see my scalp. I would scope them. I wish I could sit in every one of your living rooms right now with my dermoscope so I could hold it in your before, and you would see tiny, fine baby white hair. You probably even see some of them that your human eye can't see, but there's more it can't see. So what can we do? We can use a very specific medical device with a very specific medical grade spectrum spectrum of light to regrow those baby hairs into their full healthy state, hence the after. If we have the follicle animation, I can show you how that works, just like it worked for Yvonne. See the wider part, see the part filling in, see the bangs are gone, see the bangs are coming back, keeping in mind she's only halfway home. What are we doing? We are using a laser, not an LED. An LED is a Christmas tree light. This is a laser, a medical grade laser, class 3R laser. For those of you who work in the medical industry, you know this is used in other medical applications as well, in hospitals and doctors' offices, that's reaching down to that dying follicle that will eventually be dead and gone, that is stimulating the cells in that follicle like photosynthesis in the plant, this being photobiomodulation. It's actually grabbing those follicles and bringing them back to life. How? If we can go to Sonia, I'll show you how simple it is. I know I say a lot of scientific stuff, but this is as simple as it is. Sonia has the cap. She uses it in real life. She pops it on her head. She's going to push one button. This is what you'll do at home. After she pushes that button, you see the blue lights light up, okay? She is getting her treatment. Now we can show the peekaboo thing. Okay, now look at the coverage, by the way, but see how that clicked off when she tipped it off? That is a patented, only Capillus has, safety sensors, where when she tips it off, it turns off, but as she puts it back on, it went back on. What else does Sonia have to do? Nothing. If she wants, she could pedal her today's special and get a little exercise, right? But 6 minutes later, there's a computer chip in this entire treatment that is going to automatically, permanently turn that off. Sonia takes the cap, puts it in the drawer. I have mine literally in a drawer. I don't even actually have the cap because, again, this is the real medical device. And, you know, hey, you could be, Sonia wanted to be super cool, or I did. I could just stick it in here. I'm going to let this stango in the back. But look, how do I look, Shannon? Okay, so I'm actually getting my treatment. I just have it in another kind of cool cap, but you can do that. It doesn't matter. As much as I talk about that science, I want you to know that you push one button once a day, in 6 minutes it turns itself off, and that's how you get those results.
It is, and I'll just tell you, hair is a very intimate and personal thing. It just is. So when I say things in life are guided, they most definitely are. You are watching this show for a reason. As a sidebar analogy or story, it's funny because people always wonder, well, what do the hosts talk about with each other? You know, what do we talk about our hair, don't we? I mean, Sonia's like whenever I run into Marlo, I ran into, you know, like, girl, the hair. Even when I started my show tonight, when Marlo, she's like, how are you doing? I'm like, oh, the struggle is real. You know, we all, I think, understand that our hair sends a message about our health, about our confidence, about our empowerment, maybe even about our knowledge. I mean, sometimes, like Barry said, it's not fair, but it is true. I think sometimes people just do kind of assess you or judge you by your hair and appearance, but hair in particular. And when I get back to really the whole aging thing, as we know, things get different when you age. And this is helping to empower you in a time where I think we all felt very powerless. Feel powerful and empower yourself with that FDA-cleared medical technology. I know there aren't a lot of these to go around. Remember, only around 600 available. This is a power hour, one of only 2 shows. Adam will have your final look during his open house show coming up in the 11 o'clock hour tonight. But remember, we do have FlexPay. Now, those are interest-free payments. It is not like a layaway program. So for a little over $300 on your credit card, we do send it out to you right away. So we don't charge your whole credit card at once. So PayPal, debit card, any major credit card, even Apple Pay, will pay for your shipping. And then you get a 6-month money-back guarantee. And then you get our great feature price while it's available. The adapters, of course, that custom molded bag. You can ask about the activator. I think the activator is a great product. The Capillus, of course, will work with the activator, you know, whether you use the activator or not. But Barry, since we do see the activator on the screen, can you speak to that just real quickly? Because I do love it as a product, and it might be something people want to consider.
Yeah, no, the activator's super cool. I actually asked if we can have that on HSN because I'm a big fan of it. It has the types of things. So first of all, I want to make it clear, you don't need the activator for this cap to work. This is all you need. You never, ever, ever have to buy anything else. But of course, you can do other things, like you mentioned Andrew Lessman's vitamins. The activator's that type of thing, where it adds a great scalp. It actually helps to treat your scalp. It helps to create a healthy environment for the best treatment that you can get for this laser device. It has great things like saw palmetto and biotin and those types of vitamins in there that's going to really actually help your hair. But at the end of the day, what this is actually going to do is actually treat your hair follicle. So when we're talking about a medical device, that's what we have to talk about. And Shannon, can I give you a little assignment?
Okay. I'm curious about this.
I know. Well, first of all, Shannon, I love you. I love you to death. And you're right, Shannon, just so you know, when I first met Shannon, I'm looking at the monitor so I can see you. I saw her in the hall. She had this really tight curler in her hair. And I'm like, stop. Because a lot of people don't realize that alopecia is just a medical term for hair loss. And there are types of alopecia. And when you yank with curlers or weaves, right, that's called traction alopecia. And if you yank on those follicles too much, they become inflamed. They just say over it. And it's gone forever. Same thing with white tied ponytails or tight braiding. But we were commenting before we went on, your hair looks amazing. I think since you've been doing the treatment, it looks really thicker and gooder. But here's my assignment for you. Ready?
Okay. What's my homework?
You know what my favorite question is?
Huh.
Is this real? So just ask me if it's real and please let me answer.
I'm sorry, that's such a loaded question. Especially for
exactly.
Me.
So, because here's I just want to tell you, give you background so I can answer. So Lynn, one time we got a question on Facebook and Lynn said to me, someone asked me, is this real? And I'm like, Lynn, that's my favorite question because that's a legitimate question, right? You're looking at the price tag, right. You're hearing the science, and you want to know if it's real. So please ask me and let me tell you.
Barry, is
Yes, Shannon,
real?
do you have a question? Yes, Shannon, it's real. Okay, seriously, let me get a little bit serious here and explain it to you because I want you to understand this. This is super huge. Again, I'm kind of re-racking. If you've been with us at the top of the 8 o'clock hour, remember how I told you that I've sat with thousands of men and women, and that would be my #1 question, and I loved it. So what did I tell them, and what will I tell you? One of the first things I would say is I want to talk about an FDA-cleared real medical device. Now, again, in the old days, before we went everything with all the COVID press conferences, I really had to explain how huge it is to get something that's FDA cleared. We get that now. We saw what it was like just to fast track it. So when something is FDA cleared, that means, and I'm saying this to you right now, the FDA says this technology is #1 effective. It's what's known as efficacy. You heard that in the press conferences, right? And the FDA also says this is safe. I'm thinking of myself as that 20-year-old kid who was losing hair. And if I had someone say that line to me, you would have my attention. So to answer to your question, little Barry and Shannon, little Shannon, is this real? Well, I want you to know that I'm talking about a real FDA-cleared medical device. FDA-cleared meaning this technology is #1 effective and #2 safe. But please also understand, continuing with that question, that really medical technology has advanced to the point where we can do something about your hair loss right now. There are 4 things for men, 3 things for women. There's Minoxidil, the topical. There's PRP, where you go to the doctor's office the rest of your life. There's finasteride for men only, where you go get shots in your head for the rest of your life. And there's something called photobiomodulation. Those first 3 you have to buy over and over again for the rest of your life because we have to treat your follicle moving forward. This is the only thing you buy once, a real FDA-cleared medical device. So Shannon, yes, this is real. But you see why I love that question? Because there is so much science behind it.
Well, I do too, and I know this is kind of late in the game, but guys, do we happen to have the factory footage of Capillus? And the only reason, I want to just, kind of to piggyback on that, Barry, is this real? These are real people. These are real passionate people who make this, right?
Yeah, look, I mean, I love to say, look at the hands, because these aren't minimum wage people sitting in a factory somewhere, nor are there conveyor belts. You are looking at skilled medical technicians building your cap that will be delivered to your home from our facility right here in the USA. This is manufactured in the USA. Make no mistake. building your cap one laser at a time. Because again, these aren't Christmas tree lights. These aren't LEDs. These are medical grade lasers. As that footage flew by, you also saw our compliance department. We have an entire department, because again, I want you to know the thrust behind what you're getting, because I get it, it looks like a cute cap. But there's an entire compliance department, because this is the technology right here. This is the medical technology. You can see bar-coded. I mean, if you knew what we went through willingly to make this flexible cap that deals with the FDA on a regular basis, that deals with Health Canada on a regular basis. So this is sold all over the world, just so you know. Manufactured right here in the USA, but with an amazing set of oomph behind it, from being ISO certified, what is it? ISO, does anybody know in the room? ISO 364-5 certified, I think it is, but you know, if you work in the medical industry, you know what it means. That means this is certified right down from how it's created, that factory footage you saw, even all the way up to how it's shipped to you. Because again, we're shipping you a real medical device. We are also Intertech inspected, if you know what that means. So when we say medical device, you're even looking at that Fitzpatrick scale right there, right down to the skin tones it works on, right down to the Norwood scale, the Savin scale, the medical charts where we classify hair loss. But at the end of the day, Shannon, again, back to that question that you were kind enough to ask, is this real? I'm talking about an FDA-cleared, real medical device where the FDA says this technology is number one, effective, and number two, safe. Yes, medical technology has advanced to the point where this is real and you own it and use it 6 minutes once a day. That's it.
And that's why I love showing that factory footage, because it's a passionate team of experts that hand assemble these for us. Limited quantities though, a little more than 500 remaining. Definitely take action and get yours. And remember, yes, it is real. I had to chuckle when you asked that question though, Barry, because like listen, with me, that is a loaded question, because I could create lots of answers around that kind of open-ended concept.
And you're such a good sport. But it's a great question, right? Isn't it a good question?
But it is.
Legit.
And I think
you're
it's
sitting
really
at home in
true.
your living room. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think that's why we have to keep going back to the same lasers, more of them, the lasers that are used in doctors' offices. I mean, need we say more? FDA cleared. I mean, all of those things apply. Remember, though, you can do it now for the final little more than 500 that remain with a 6-month money-back guarantee. 5 interest-free payments, Apple Pay, PayPal, debit card. Remember, we do not keep the cap until you pay it off. We zip it off to you. You've got 6 months to try it as you buy it. You get that custom molded case as well, that clip if you are walking around the house or what have you. And Barry, at the end of the day, you know better than I, because for decades you've trained people, but then you've consulted with just, real men and women who are very emotional about their hair loss. It must feel pretty good. I mean, you've been paying it back throughout your life. It must feel good to have a product that can help people, right?
Oh, the stories that I hear are just so amazing, how people's lives have literally been changed, and they show me the before and afters. And when you think about it, at the end of the day, because the last time we were on, we went into advanced orders. We're not at advanced orders yet. At the end of the day, within a week, this could be on your doorstep. Within a week, you can finally do something about your hair loss using a real FDA-cleared medical device that you pop on your head and wear 6 minutes once a day. And Shannon, let me just say, again, this doesn't, there's no heat, it's cool lasers. It doesn't fit like a baseball cap, it's not meant to, it's a real medical device. So don't worry, you're gonna have great coverage, but you push a button in 6 minutes a day and you can see those results. And it's just such a life-changing thing.
Absolutely, life-changing. I mean, well said indeed. Barry, it's always good to see you. Hopefully, sometime in the next year, we'd love to have you back in the studio, okay?
I can't wait. I know. We'll give you a big hug when this is all over someday.
Absolutely.
Love working with you, Shannon. Thanks.
Thank you, Barry. Always good to have you here. Hey, keep calling on your Capillus before it's gone. I'll be back on Thursday at 7. In the meantime, we were talking about Andrew Lessman. Well, let's see what he's got for our monthly special.
Hi there, Andrew Lessman here to talk about our Cranberry monthly special. Cranberry is one of those ingredients that for centuries has been has been recommended, has been recognized for its beneficial properties. But it wasn't until relatively recently that the more conventional world of science recognized its benefits as well. So what I always say about cranberry, it's one of those natural ingredients that has finally made good, that it went from being traditionally recognized to being more conventionally and scientifically recognized for its benefits for our urinary tract, bladder, kidneys. So again, cranberries are not necessarily the most delicious fruit. If you add sugar, they become incredibly delicious, like cranberry juice or say dried cranberries with added sugar. But if you don't add sugar, they are among the most tart and bitter fruit that you will ever consume. So unfortunately, if we're going to be eating cranberries, we're going to be eating an abundance of sugar, which is not healthy and which is not necessarily good for our urinary tract, bladder as well. So the only way to reliably get the benefits of cranberry without subjecting ourselves to something that tastes awful or subjecting ourselves to inordinate amounts of sugar is with a cranberry product that is standardized and basically extracts the cranberry to deliver the beneficial ingredients you seek. So if you look at the reviews on this product, it's virtually perfectly reviewed. I would say that probably over 90% of the reviews are 5-star reviews and close to 98% are positive reviews. So I encourage you to give it a try at its best pricing of the year. Enjoy.
Oh, good, you're here. I was just doing a little bit of tidying up. My mother-in-law came over with the dogs and, well, they were going crazy. They were all over my favorite chair. The good news is